In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 10 financial tips that changed my life. Hey everybody, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and I'm here to teach you what you need to know to create a secure retirement. The thing about money is if you're not using it to create a better life, you're doing it wrong. So in today's video, I want to share with you 10 things that had a dramatic impact on my life. Now, one of the things I love about YouTube and this community here is we get to share and learn from one another. So I'm going to share my 10 tips, but I want to hear yours too. So as I'm going through this, please feel free to leave your tips in the comments so we can all learn from one another. Number one, the first thing that changed my life when it comes to finances is compounding changes everything. One of my favorite examples that I like to share with this is this. I'll say, would you rather have $1 million today or 1 penny that doubles in value every single day for a month? Now we think about that and we start doing some math in our head, and after doubling that penny for a few days, we say there's no way on earth that could ever amount to a whole lot. So we say, I'll take the million. Well, when you take that for 31 days of doubling, that penny turns into over $10 million. That's the power of compounding. Is compounding so much happens on the back end that our minds fail to grasp that when we think linear and when we think just short term with what we do. The amazing thing about compounding is it doesn't just apply to money. Sure, it applies to your 401k balance or your IRA or your investments, but it also applies to our health, to our relationships, to the hobbies that we engage in. So when you understand the power of compounding, you understand how it changes everything. The second money tip that changed my life is that constraints create freedom. Here's an example of that. Every month, my wife and I, we sit down and we look at our budget. Where do we want to spend money each month? What we do though is we don't stop there. We don't just say, oh, we'd like to spend this much on entertainment and we'd like to spend this much on groceries and we'd like to save this much. What we do is we'll find a few categories. Entertainment, we'll have James's fun money, Ashlyn's fun money, and instead of just hoping to spend that amount, we will create some constraints around that. We have separate bank accounts for each of those categories, and once a month we fill that bank account up and we have a separate debit card for each. What that does is once I've spent through my fun money, or my wife has spent through her fun money, it's gone. There's no spending on credit or doing other things that allow us to overspend. That constraint disallows us from doing so. Now here's the beautiful thing. That constraint causes freedom. It ensures that we have enough to save for the other things that are important for us, to save for travel, to save for the future, to save for college for children. That constraint allows us to have freedom in the other aspects of our life. So putting constraints in your life actually helps to create much more freedom in your life. The third money tip that changed my life is that personal finance is more personal than it is finance. We oftentimes look at financial planning like it's a math problem. Like if we can just input the right variables and if we can just find the right savings rate, the right rate of return, everything's gonna be okay. Sometimes that's true, but more often than not, financial decisions are personal. Finance is so much more psychological and personal and emotional, we cannot forget to ignore that. If we just treat it like a math problem, we're not going to be optimizing for what matters most. So when you look at your finances, realize it's okay for it to be personal. It's okay for the decisions you make not to necessarily make sense on a spreadsheet, as long as they're still allowing you to accomplish your goals and doing so in a way that you're comfortable with. The fourth financial tip that changed my life is this. It's momentum is more powerful than spreadsheets. So once again, we have this tendency to treat finance like a math problem and everything can be solved via spreadsheets, but what that doesn't take into account is momentum. And when you're trying to accomplish your goals and you're asking yourself, should I add to savings? Should I pay down debt? Should I invest? Should I do a number of different things? Oftentimes what gets overlooked in trying to optimize for the spreadsheet answer is what's going to generate the most momentum. If we're doing something that aligns with what excites us and keeps us motivated and keeps us going, that is far more powerful than squeezing out a little bit more money by following what the spreadsheet says. So as you're looking at your finances, where in your life can you create more momentum by implementing something that maybe doesn't make sense financially on the spreadsheet, but absolutely helps you stay motivated and stay moving in the right direction? The fifth financial tip that changed my life is that financial freedom means thinking of finances less. When I first got into this business, I used to think, oh man, if I want to do really well with financial planning in my own personal finances, I have to be thinking about money all the time. Track every bit of spending I'm doing, constantly on my phone looking at my bank balance, constantly looking at my investments. That's not financial freedom. What I found is that true financial freedom means thinking about finances less. It means doing the hard work up front. What do I want to accomplish? What's most important to me? What are my values, my family's values? And then aligning our money in such a way to accomplish that. Once you've done that work, there's absolutely still work that needs to be done to stay on top of it and to keep optimizing it. But that work doesn't mean watching CNBC every single day. That work doesn't mean looking at my expenses every single day. That work doesn't mean updating my net worth spreadsheet every single day. It means focusing on what's most important. The experiences I want to have, the things I want to do, the time with family I want to spend, and making sure my finances are aligned in a way that supports that. The sixth money tip that changed my life is that money cannot be compartmentalized from everything else in life. You'll never hear anyone say, oh, my health is awful. But other than that, life is just great. You'll never hear anyone say, oh, my relationships are just awful. But other than that, life is just great. When health is bad or relationships are bad, it seeps into everything else. Well, same thing is true with money. If your money's not right, it doesn't matter how much income you're making, you're always going to be stressed. You're always going to be worried. You're always going to be worried about what you're not doing, and that's going to seep into other parts of your life. By getting your money right, that's going to be part of your total wellness of how can we live better? How can we live more meaningful, more impactful, more peace-filled lives? Well, part of that is getting your money right. You don't have money existing over here and then everything else here. Really, it's all part of one whole, and getting your finances right is really part of an overall wellness that you're looking to accomplish for your life. The seventh money tip that changed my life is that money is a tool, not the goal. It's fruitless to say my goal is to have X number of dollars in my portfolio when I retire just to have it, or to have X number of dollars in my portfolio when I die just to have it. If you're viewing money as the be-all, end-all, you're really missing the purpose of it. Money is a tool that leads to our ability to have experiences, to spend our time how we want, to have freedom to do what we want. But as soon as we mistake money not as a tool but as the goal, it becomes very empty. Use money to accomplish things. Don't look at money as the be-all, end-all. Sir Francis Bacon had a famous quote where he said, money is an incredible servant, but a horrible master. Make sure that you're using money to serve your purposes, not necessarily letting money be the be-all, end-all. The eighth money tip that changed my life is that good investing feels wrong. Good investing sometimes means rebalancing or tax loss harvesting or doing the right things when it seems like the wrong time to do it. Wait a minute, we're going to rebalance and sell what's gone up to buy what's gone down? Sure, it sounds good in theory when we're talking about what we'll do in the future, but in the moment it's very difficult for us to do. It means selling some of the things that are doing really well to buy some of the things that have struggled. That doesn't feel right. Other times, good investing means not doing something when it feels like you should be doing anything. When the market's going down, when CNBC is talking about the horrible recession we're in or the upcoming bear market or whatever it might be, it feels really wrong to stay committed to a plan. That's why good investing is so difficult. It's not about just having the right portfolio, the right funds. It's about exhibiting the behavior that good investors show. In doing that means feeling like you're doing the wrong thing at many times because it feels like you're doing something when you shouldn't be, or like you shouldn't be doing something when you really should be. So as you're looking at good investing, oftentimes it's going to feel wrong, but it's going to lead to success over time. So before I get to my final 2 tips that changed my life, once again, share yours in the comments below. I would love to see them. I know other people watching would love to see them. This is just 10 and everyone's different. So make sure you're sharing those so we can all learn from each other. The 9th money tip that changed my life is that spending money on things that are important to you is one of the best investments you can ever make. What's the goal of saving all of our money, of investing all of our money, if we're not going to use it for something that improves our quality of life? When you're using your money and aligning it in a way that's adding quality to your life, that's improving your standard of living, that's what its purpose is. For a lot of us, that's how do we use our money to improve our health? That could be gym memberships that seem expensive on the front end, but when you realize the impact that good health has on your life, it's one of the best investments you can ever make. It's taking trips or buying experiences that seem expensive, but they're going to be some of the memories we're never going to forget. So as you think about this, it's easy to say, oh, spending money is going to lead to better experiences. That's not always the case, but intentional spending that leads to better experiences or better health or better quality of life, that is one of the best investments you can ever make with your money. And the 10th money tip that changed my life is if you're still worried you aren't wealthy. If you're still worried, then you aren't wealthy. It does not matter how much money you have. If you still lose sleep, if you still have anxiety, if you still don't have peace of mind about money, in my opinion, you're not truly wealthy. I've seen plenty of people that have more money to accomplish all of their goals and then some. They're very worried and anxious about money. I've seen other people that have very modest means, but are able to do what they want to do and live with a tremendous amount of peace about money. When you look at these two, it's easy to see that the latter, in my opinion, is more wealthy. If you have all the money in the world, but you're still anxious and worried and don't know what to do, that's not true wealth. So how can you not just have a certain amount of money, but understand that you've got a plan for your money? Understand that your money is working for you. Understand that your money is going to allow for the attainment of what's most important to you. Having the peace of mind that that's happening, that is really true wealth, and that's what money can provide for us. What you'll notice from these tips is a lot of it is more personal than it is financial. And that's because money is more personal, more emotional, more psychological than it is financial. One of the biggest areas I see people struggle is shifting from a savings mindset to a spending mindset. If that's you, if you've saved and invested well, but you're wondering, how do I actually give myself permission to spend some of this? Be sure to check out the video above. Thanks for watching. This is James Knoll with Root Financial Partners. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to share it with someone else who you think would benefit from this information. And also, please be sure to like and subscribe for more content just like this. Finally, if you'd like to see how we help clients create a secure retirement, be sure to check out our website at rootfinancialpartners.com.